This is Pet Life Radio. Let's talk pets.
Hello and welcome to Working Like Dogs on Pet Life Radio. Thank you for joining us and for following Working Like Dogs on Instagram and Facebook. We're your hosts. My name is Marcie Davis, and my co-host is my adorable service dog, Lovey. And we're excited to be with you today to talk about our favorite subject, working dogs and working animals. And today we're so happy to welcome Gail Harbott to the show. And Gail has a brand new position with Mobility Dogs, which is based in New Zealand. And her new position is Client Ambassador. And Gail is perfect for this new job because she's also partnered with a gorgeous Golden Retriever assistance dog that's trained by Mobility Dogs named Coda. So come right back after these quick messages as we welcome Gail Harbott and Coda to the show.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy? Come to Dynovite for help.
Order a 90-day supply of Dynovite.
Dynovite for life.
Pick up 2 tubes of Doggosuds.
Get the 3rd tube free.
Peppermint, tea tree, lavender, Doggosud shampoo.
Made with all-natural coconut, jojoba, aloe. Great for healthy skin and soft, shiny coats.
But no itchy, harsh chemicals.
Lather up, rinse away.
Try Doggosuds. Buy 2, get 1 free.
At Dynovite.com.
DINOVITE.com.
Let's Talk Pets on PetLifeRadio.com.
Welcome back to Working Like Dogs on Pet Life Radio. We're so excited to have Gail Harbott and Coda with us today. Hello, Gail and Coda, and welcome.
Good morning. How are you all? Well, good afternoon over there.
Yes, it is good afternoon here, and we're so excited that you're willing to get up so early in the morning to visit with us, Gail.
You're most welcome. It's just a pleasure.
Well, tell us all about Mobility Dogs. What kind of agency is that? What kind of dogs do you guys train? Just give us an overview, Gail.
Okay, well, Mobility Dogs is an organisation based in New Zealand. Now, they train dogs for people with mobility disabilities. They have dogs that are trained for people that they use them with people in wheelchairs. They use them with people on walking frames. They use them with people who have Parkinson's. So it's a variety of disabilities. And these dogs are just trained absolutely amazingly. And as you know, puppy raised, and then into their middle part of their training, and then the final training, which is done that tailors the needs for the person they're being partnered with.
Oh, I love it. And I love that it's all those different types of mobility needs, because we usually think of people that use wheelchairs, but we don't think about all those other examples that you were giving of different types of mobility needs that somebody might have. So that's so cool that you guys can tailor it to those needs. So we're so excited to hear about your new position. I heard about it and I was thrilled because I think all service dog organizations should have a client ambassador position. So tell us about your new job. What is it? What's your role?
Yes, I agree with you. I think every organization should have an ambassador. But I think the most important thing is an ambassador that actually is partnered with a service dog themselves. So Mobility Dogs have asked me to be their client ambassador. So that entails keeping in communication with the other clients that have their partner dogs, and just keeping the channels open for discussion, but also because Coda's my 3rd service mobility dog, I have that extended knowledge that I've worked with him with dogs for many years now. They're just part of my life. So there's not too many things that haven't happened out there in the big wide world that I can't answer. So it's a win-win for everyone, and we've got some absolutely beautiful partnerships. And I had the pleasure of being at the training and matching process and partnering process in March for 2 weeks in Auckland, New Zealand, and to see the face of those people that were getting their dogs, they met them for the first time, and to see the transition through from the start of that 2-week process to the end it's something I'll never forget. It was amazing. Yeah. And I'd forgotten about how I was when I first saw my first dog and met my first dog, and it brought that all back, and it was actually rather emotional. So it was lovely.
Yes.
It was fantastic.
It is pure magic. It really is. I know I've had the opportunity to sit in on a couple of classes in an organization here, and it is exactly as you said, for them to meet their dogs and to start building that relationship and that bond and that trust. It's pure magic. It really is. And it is emotional. When I'm like you, I thought, I've been through this process so many times, I wouldn't be emotional to it, but oh boy, it's the tears start to come when you see that. Yeah. Yes,
I'll never forget these people's faces, and just the most beautiful experience. And to hear now, a couple of months on, how their journeys are going. And so that's my role, is to keep the lines of communication open, whether it be on our client Facebook page, or whether it be an email, or even they have my phone number to call me if anything pops up. And as you know, you never know from day to day what you might encounter out there when you're out, and not everyone in this big wide world is as positive about dogs as we are, and I suppose that's a nice way of putting it. And so you encounter all different things, and also with people with living with a disability, your life changes in different ways, and so there's adjustments to be made, and that's something that mobility dogs are absolutely great for, their follow-up, their interaction with their clients. It's an absolutely beautiful organisation.
Yeah, I love that. Well, I've been following mobility dogs for a long time and have been so impressed with their work, and you can just tell how genuine they really are and how passionate they are about the dogs and the people that they serve. And I love that. And it's just amazing. I love it, Gail, that you have a disability, you have the experience with the dog, and you can help somebody go through that process, because it's stressful and it's scary when you get a dog if you haven't had any experiences with dogs. So tell us some of the things that you're seeing that you feel like you're helping people with the most.
Look, I think at the initial start, it's teaching the person and explaining to the person, because as we know, it's a bonding process, and that bonding process between yourself and your new service dog can take up to 6 months for that full bonding process. It happens, but it's gradual. I try to instill in them that it is okay if your dog is not connected to you immediately. Number one, when we're in the training, when their meet and greet and then their 2-week training process, the dog trainer's there with us. So those dogs have only known her in their life. So of course they're going to be looking for her. So it is quite, my biggest thing is I just tell them, just do what you're taught to do. We're giving you all the tools to go home, and this process will continue on. And my biggest thing is, don't think that you're a problem with it. Don't think that your dog doesn't want to be with you. It's just a natural transition from the trainer, or of course, our dogs, we'll talk a bit more about that, but our dogs coming from the Puppies in Prison program as well. So the dogs have had different things going on. So it's only natural that there's going to be that little area, grey area, but it happens. And it happens. I've had 3 dogs, and the first dog I thought, oh, this dog doesn't like me. He doesn't want to, I can't take him home. And that dog was my most amazing friend, partner, I lost that dog. He was in service with me for 2 years and he passed away of cancer. And it was the most, I grieved the most I ever have in losing someone when I lost Audi. And so as I explained to the people, all the other clients, that the process happens, you do bond, you know. And also there's so many other, as you know, there's so many other hidden things that are behind the scenes. You don't just get a dog, you know, there's a lot goes into, you have to put a lot into that dog. There's the grooming, the toileting, preparation before you go out to make sure your dog's suitable to go out into the public. And so it's quite a involved.
It is. And people, I don't think, really understand that. It's a huge commitment, both time and financial, because you really have this incredible being that you're responsible for.
Absolutely. And that's something that I try to really instill into the families, because at these training camps, majority of people will either have a family member with them or a carer. And so it's important, because I have this, when my dog goes out, my dog has his teeth brushed, his coat groomed. I'm probably very fussy, but these dogs are, but we go out into the public, we're representing mobility dogs, and so we must adhere to, we have, you know, Assistance Dogs International have all of their rulings, and these must be adhered to, but for your dog too, because we like to be groomed.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and so our dog is just the same. So I try and explain to people all these factors, and your dog's coat, your jacket must be clean, and so it's, as you know, there's a lot involved.
Yes, it's work. Yes, it is. But it's work that's worth it. Yeah, there's a big, huge payoff. But you're right. It is a lot of work. Well, tell us a little bit more about the training camp. How long are people there, and what's the format?
Well, we go into training. So when the the mobility dogs have the dogs that are ready to be placed. So then the matching process happens all behind the scenes. And then we go into camp. Now, we went into camp in March this year in Auckland, New Zealand, and it's an absolutely amazing setup. It's fully accessible rooms. It's a complex, and they do the catering and all for us for meals. So we go in there and we start on the Sunday, and it's a meet and greet, and that's when the clients meet their new partner. And then the first week is in the training and classroom setting. So teaching the new parents the commands and the processes, and the total and in that's involved is grooming, public access. So all of the paperwork side of it and all the learning tools to give them all the tools to be able to go out and be out in public and to deal with day-to-day things with their mobility dog. So that's the first week. And then the second week, we then go out and we do community travel. So we will go on a bus, on a train. We go to shopping centres. We'll go to a park. We'll go to situations where they're going to encounter other dogs, lots of people, lots of distractions. And it's done over each day for the second week. And it's actually a very exciting time, because I can remember the first time I wanted to go out in public with my dog, and I thought, you know, I know what I'm doing, but once you get out there, it's a totally different thing. And then I can remember coming home after that first day and going, oh my gosh, I don't know if I can do this again. Oh my gosh, that was so. And not only are people, these clients going out with a new dog, but they've got their disability too. So there's so many factors coming around it. But it is an exciting time. I love it because we get to go to the mall shopping and we go to supermarkets. And so, look, that's the 2-week process. And at the end of that, then they do the public access exam. And then we get to see them head home with their beautiful dog.
Oh, that sounds so wonderful. Well, Gail, hold that thought because we're going to take just a quick break and hear some important messages from our sponsors. But we're going to come back and we're going to keep talking. We've got a lot to talk with you about, Gail.
Right. Thank you so much.
So come right back after these quick messages.
It's designerpetsweaters.com. Hand-knitted designer sweaters for your precious pup or cool cat. Beautiful couture patterns for your pets, including custom-knitted formal wear, casual wear, yachting, and even sports-themed. Many designer pet sweaters include feathered tammy hats, top hats, and a lot of sparkle. Each sweater includes leg loops, front paw sleeves, and leash opening. Visit designerpetsweaters.com to order your four-legged fashions today. Large or small, we fit them all. designerpetsweaters.com.
Let's talk pets
Let's talk pets
on Pet Life Radio.
Pet Life Radio.
PetLifeRadio.com.
Welcome back to Working Like Dogs on Pet Life Radio, and we're visiting today with Gail Harbott and her dog Coda from Mobility Dogs in New Zealand. And Gail, before the break, you were telling us about the incredible training camp, and I just have one more question for you about that. About how many people do you guys have in your training camp?
Right. Well, the last one we did, we had 4 people that were in the camp and placed with their dogs, and then we have 4 staff from Mobility Dogs that are there, and myself, and then the people who have their family with them or carer. So it's quite a team, and
Yeah.
you become family. It's
Yeah.
By the end of the week, we had one lad who, when we first started, he really was very quiet and very shy. By the end of it, he said, I don't want to go home. I want to stay. I want us all to stay together. That's when you know you're doing it right.
Yes. And how many training camps do you have a year?
Mobility Dogs do 2 a year, generally one in October, November time, and then one in March.
Oh, wonderful. Oh, I love it. I don't blame them. I know. I wouldn't want to go home either.
No, exactly.
All that support and all that new knowledge that they're gaining and skills, it's so wonderful. It's so wonderful.
Yeah, and what Mobility Dogs are very good on is you go home, you're not on your own. You will get a phone call, they'll check up on you all the time. They will, I know after the last training camp, there was a couple of lads that were, there was one boy and one female that were in school, in uni. So Mobility Dogs then organised to go to the school with them. So they go and make sure that everything is set up around the school, that the principal and the all the staff understand the needs for toileting areas, etc., and just to make sure that the client is all settled in and that it's not a stressful transition, that it's a nice transition and that they can enjoy. And as you know, you've got all of the things that you have to deal with people wanting, because as we know, we go out and people don't look at us, they look at our dogs.
Right.
Yeah, and it's like, so when young ones go to uni or school, there's that whole thing of not patting the dog and not interrupting the dog's working. And so it's a learning curve for everybody, but if it's done properly, it works absolutely amazingly. And that's something that Mobility Dogs are very, very good at.
It sounds like it. Well,
yes.
Yeah, well, that is so exciting and so fabulous. Well, tell us more about Coda, because you said that you've had Coda's your third mobility dog. Yeah, so tell us about Coda and what types of tasks Coda does for you.
Okay, so Coda and I have been partnered together for 3 years now. Prior to Coda, I had Echo, who actually has a little interesting story because he was the first dog to graduate from the Puppies in Prison program that they run over here. So,
awesome.
So that's a special little story I'll be able to talk to you about. But Coda's amazing. So we were partnered in March 2016. Yep, that's right. March 2016. Coda, of course, the transition for Coda and I was really rather simple because being my third dog, I knew all the commands, I knew the procedure. So it was more Coda and I bonding, which happened a lot quicker because I wasn't stressed because I knew I was comfortable with everything. So Coda and I we started our journey, and I just say that Coda's just an extension of me. He's my best mate. We go everywhere together. Coda's he loves to work. He's very astute at my commands. He loves to retrieve, being a retriever, of course, he'll carry shopping bags for me. He tugs the laundry basket. He loads the washing into the washing machine, and he's actually pretty good at sorting the colours and whites too, as you know, by command. And just gets very excited when it's time to do the laundry. When I'm transferring out of bed, into bed, onto the sofa, onto the toilet, I need assistance to transfer. So Coda as a brace, trained in bracing. So Coda will brace, and I use him to transfer. So it's absolutely enormous for me. So very, very good at bracing. He assists me with dressing and undressing. He's pretty good with zippers, as long as they've got a little tag on them. He's pretty good at those. We do have a bit of a laugh at times, but he presses lift buttons, pedestrian buttons. But I think one of the main things that Coda has changed in my life is that he pulls me in my manual wheelchair. So he has a harness on with a handle, and he pulls me, and that protects my upper body. Having multiple sclerosis, parts of my body are working and parts aren't, so I don't walk, and so I need to keep my upper body strength. So Coda pulls me in my manual chair, and I've had 2 shoulder surgeries, so him pulling me just makes such an immense difference to my fatigue levels and my body. So that is one of his really strong points, is pulling me in my chair. But overall, he is just my best friend, and he just gives me so much. He gives me practical support and emotional support. And as you know, no matter what sort of day we're having, they look at you and they don't care if you're in a bad mood. They don't care if you're screaming. They still look at you, and it's unconditional love. That's what it is.
Yes. It is a gift of all gifts. It really is. Well, those are awesome things that he does. I love that he helps you to dress and actually helps with zippers. That's so wonderful.
Yes, it is very good because with my hands I sometimes have troubles, and so don't get me wrong, it's not always perfect. There's times when I've had a lot of laughing about it, but no, he's wonderful. And like even taking off my shoes and socks, and taking them off and then putting them up onto my lap, so I'm not having to lean forward, so there's not that risk of falling out of my wheelchair. Yes. So and to some people that might sound minimal, but to
us that's huge. Yes.
It is. Yes. So yes. And you know what? He's also allowed me to continue on my life and be independent. Yes. And allowed my family to continue on with their lives and know that I have that 24/7 carer with me. And I call him my carer, but he's not. He's my best friend. But it's allowed them to continue on and not have to worry as such. Coda will get the phone. And so if there's an emergency, he'll get the phone. He also only barks on command. So my neighbours all know that if they hear him barking, I've got a problem.
Yes, they need to come. Yes.
Absolutely. So look, as you know, it's just, I think we have the best.
Yes, love Coda. Well, tell us about the Puppies in Prison program.
Oh, well, this is just such a wonderful program that it's a partnership that Mobility Dogs have done with the Department of Corrections in Auckland, and it's such a win-win for everyone. In 2018, Mobility Dogs have been working with Department of Corrections on the Puppies in Prison program, prisoners are taught to train the mobility dog. Senior trainer goes into the prison and will do the training of the prisoner, and then oversees, once that prisoner is trained and has a dog placed in there with them, they oversee it on a really regular basis. And look, I've been lucky enough to go through with my 3 dogs. My first dog was trained with mobility dog trainer. My second, that was Audi. My second dog, Echo, he was trained. He was one of the first in the prison program and graduated. He was the first to graduate. And the difference between Audi and Echo, it was like day and night. Just the attention to detail was incredible. But then when Audi got retired and then I got Coda, it was a step above that again. It was like, wow. So it's showing that this program is working and working so well. And it gives the prisoners a sense of purpose. They develop new skills, which helps in their rehabilitation. It also gives them self-discipline. They have to study, so they have to do reporting and paperwork, etc., for mobility dogs on their dog that they're training. But also they do teamwork and it teaches them leadership because mobility dog trainer Nat can't be in the prison all the time, so they have to have leadership in there. It's just the most wonderful program, and the staff working at the prison they said they've seen such a difference in the prisoners. It's just making such a difference. And so it's just the most incredible thing. And I think if every country could have it, it would be great. I know they do have they do training in the prisons in America.
Yes. And I just think they're the most wonderful programs. Like everything that you touched on, Gail, it's win-win for everybody. And it is. Yes, it is.
And the prisoners develop, pro-social behaviour. It builds their self-esteem, and also it gives them responsibility and learning respect of something else,
Absolutely.
So, and I remember when Echo was leaving the prison, and they did 2020 that's a current affair program in New Zealand, and they did a show on Echo and I being placed, and the prisoner, in the interview with the prisoner, it said it's it's an unconditional love that she can give, and she's never had love.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say, is that's probably the biggest thing, is they get to experience that unconditional love and that relationship that's so genuine. Yes.
And it's something that I think is quite exciting that we're talking, because where I found out about service dogs was actually when I lived in California.
Oh.
Yes, I lived in California for 15 years. My children were brought up in California. We lived in Northern California, and after I'd been diagnosed with multiple sclerosis in California, we actually had a business, and we had an employee who had a seizure dog. And so I learned all about a service dog, and that's when I started looking into one for myself, and had talked to canine companions over in Santa Clara. And no, were they Santa Rosa, I think?
Santa Rosa. Mm-hmm.
Yes, yeah. And so that's how my journey started on looking at a service dog. So
now look at you. Yeah.
I'm on my third one now, so it's wonderful. I'm so grateful to have had that person working for me and learning about them, and my journey's been amazing since then.
Yeah. Well, tell us, how do people apply for a mobility dog?
Okay, so there is a process. So you have people online. There is an intent to, it's called a intent to inquire, theoretically. And so you just send in an application, and it's a pretty basic application about yourself, about why you feel you need a service dog, about your disability or your needs. And then that starts the process, and then mobility dogs then go through, and of course there's always a big waiting list, because they're becoming more and more known, and the awareness is being made more about them as more dogs come out of the system. But mobility dogs are very good at getting things through pretty quickly. They're pretty amazing. So, and with the Puppies in Prison program, that allows them to get more dogs trained more.
Yes.
More, because they don't have to have the ground staff doing the work. They've got the prisoners are doing the work and it's being overseen. So they're getting these dogs through and getting more through than what, because as you know, with the organisations like Mobility Dogs, it's all based on donations and funding. And,
yes.
And in this day and age, there's so many more pieces of the pie needed out there. So the application process is very simple. And then once you've been accepted, then Mobility Dogs will contact you and talk to you, and then they will come and have a look at your property and see that the property's suitable, a safe environment, and that's where the process starts. And but it's a very simple process just to put in that application, and something that Mobility Dogs are very good on is getting back to you. So it's not like you're left hanging and you don't get a reply back. They get
that's great.
And they explain what the process may be, and it may be, and they cannot at that time tell you, yes, you get a dog at this date, or no, you won't get a dog, because it's a process that has to be done.
And what is the website address, Gail?
It is, so you're going to be looking at mobilitydogs.co.nz.
Okay, great. And we'll put that on our website in case any of our listeners want more information, because I know you guys have a great website that has lots of good information on it.
Yes, we do.
Wow. Well, Gail, I could talk to you all day.
Oh, I could talk to you all day too.
Just so excited to connect with you, and you have to come back and visit with us again and tell us about, yes, we really will hold you to that, Gail.
Anytime, please. It would be an absolute pleasure. As you know, this is so dear to my heart, and so it would be an absolute pleasure anytime.
Well, thank you so much for being with us. We really appreciate you and Coda.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Good luck to everyone there.
Thank you. And thank you, our listeners, for being with us. We're so glad you could join us. We love to hear from you. So please, let's stay connected. And you know that you can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And you can email us at Marcie, MARCIE, at PetLifeRadio.com. And we love to hear from you and your ideas of shows, because as you know, we do listen to you, and we definitely would love to hear your ideas for future guests. So please keep those emails coming and take good care.
Let's Talk Pets, every week on demand, only on PetLifeRadio.com.